Well, if you're still using the Kindle that you bought back in the early 2010s, after this week, you'll no longer be able to download new books. About 2 million people lose access as Amazon ends support for its models from before 2012. And of course, this has now raised a lot of issues about e-waste and also what happens to our older devices. For more, sustainability expert and CEO of One Planet Consulting, Helen Millicer, joins us now. Hello, Helen.
Good morning, Emma. Hello, James.
What do you make of this decision?
Well, Amazon is entitled to make this decision. They have the licence to the product. It's most unfortunate because it's still functioning. And so for people, they now have an obsolete product and they're forced with the situation to decide whether to go and buy another one and what do they do with the old one, which won't function anymore.
They are so low tech. I kind of actually understand why in this particular instance people are really upset about it. With computers, you obviously huge updates, but with this, I mean, Kindles haven't changed that much, have they?
Well, no, they haven't, not as a product, that's right. They have issued various updates over time, and I believe this affects about 12 models that were released prior to 2012.
Australia has a really high rate of e-waste in the world. Why?
We do. We love new devices. We are particularly prone to that. And also because we tend not to repair them. So we have an anomaly in this country to some extent that we are high consumers and we're also high disposers of the product. So we have unusually in this country not the same kinds of approaches towards repair and recycling as other nations do.
So where does the waste go?
Nearly half of it, or 2/3, actually goes to landfill. So we really are quite, in comparison to most countries, something like we consume about 20 to 22 kilos of electronic waste each year, which we dispose to landfill. Most countries it might be about 7.
Wow.
So we truly are not the right kind of global leaders that you want for this kind of situation. And when you think about the value, I think the Australian government identified that in 2019 we were sending about $430 million worth of electronic goods to landfill every year, 430 million. Wow. So that's not an inconsiderable amount, and projected to go forward by 2030 we're going to be around 650 million tonnes per year.
Companies, of course, have got an interest in us buying a new phone every couple of years. They want us to keep spending, right?
Yes,
it's good for profits and all the rest of it.
Yes, that's their business model.
Yeah.
Correct.
Are we going to get to a point, though, where you buy a phone and it can be repaired and you have it for maybe 10 years, something that's really durable? Like, I mean, it wasn't that long ago you had a landline phone. You wouldn't need to update that for 20 years, maybe longer.
Correct. Exactly, James. And yes, we are moving to that, thankfully, because these are finite resources. We're not talking about something that, grows. This is mined, extracted, manufactured material. And so for every one of these devices, there has been an extraordinary amount of effort and work put into manufacturing these products. So indeed, there's a growing movement for repair. And indeed, there are countries around the world which have brought in right to repair legislation, which compels the manufacturer to make a product repairable. We have done that in Australia for 2 products, for vehicles and for agricultural machinery, but not for typical products used in the home. And we don't have in Australia a very good extended producer responsibility, so we're not putting a lot of responsibility onto the brand owners who put the product on the market, that it should be repairable, that it can be easily recycled at end of life either. That's changing globally. There are 80 nations around the world that require manufacturers to do that. We're not there yet.
Do you think we will, or should we?
Certainly. There was legislation passed in 2011, 15 years ago, for us to have TV and computer recycling scheme. But that's never been expanded, whereas in other countries they have expanded the scope of that program. So in France, for example, there are now 18 different products which are encompassed in their electronic extended producer responsibility scheme. We only have 2. There have been moves to do so, but we haven't got there yet, and I'm sure that Minister Watts and his team in the department are looking at it now.
There you go. We'll have to ask him next time he's on. Helen.
Do.